How's it going, everybody? Happy Saturday. Hold on, before we actually even get started, if somebody can comment, is the video coming through well? Is it kind of choppy or anything like that? Just so I know, because I know I've been having some issues when I record here. So kind of trying to get back into the gym here. So hope everybody can actually hear me well, right? If thumbs up, anything for a symbol. Yeah, perfect, awesome. Thank you so much, appreciate it. How you doing? I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's stick mobility class. So for today's class, we are going to need 2 long sticks. You're going to see I got 2 kettlebells here behind me. We're working with kettlebells this month. That is the actual theme. We're going to need a pad for us to kneel on because we are going to be getting into a half kneeling press for one of our strength drills. Also, if you have a dumbbell, that's totally fine to substitute it with. We're also going to be doing a row variation as well. We're going to go through some of the cues for that. And I kind of want to specify what some of those cues are and positioning. But to warm up, we're going to start off with some kayaking, get those shoulders a little loose before we get into a double monkey hang. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. So for the kayaking, I'm going to take just one stick here, grip with the thumbs facing away from one another. And I'm going to have a relatively wide stance. I just want to get some good stability in my lower body. And I'm going to squeeze my glutes here, right, as usual. Start with that right hand up, and we're going to drive that right hand through nice and slow. And the objective here is to get the shoulder blades and glenohumeral joint to move as much as we possibly can here. So notice the speed, not going fast, going slow. I want to keep this movement as controlled as we possibly can here. Also, I'm not rotating, it's just the movement of the shoulders. Good, you should feel those shoulder blades gliding along that rib cage here. Excellent, good. We're gonna pause here, so left hand is up, right hand is down. Pull the stick apart, about 20% tension. You're gonna feel that upper back get nice and active here, and then we're gonna compress the stick. So now you're going to feel that interior line get active. Excellent. Drive that left hand through, right hand comes up and over. Stop at that same position, pull apart. 20%. We just want to get some activation in that upper back. Compress the stick. Good. Drive that right hand through. Keep going. Excellent. Reverse directions. Good. Breathe. Remember, we're going for as much range as we can, of course, without pain or discomfort. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. Let's go ahead and grab the second stick here. This is where we're going to get into that double hang. We're just going to start with the simple double hang, and then we're going to add in some rotations as we go along here. I'm going to start with my right foot forward, left foot back. Now remember, as we do this, we want to keep that back foot in line with that hip, right? So we don't want a wide stance. We're not trying to cross the legs either. We want it in line with that with that hip. Right leg is forward, I have bottom of the sticks in line with the heel of my front foot here. Hands going to be about roughly face height from this position. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply lower myself and get a hang in the hands. You can adjust your back foot as you need to. Now I'm trying to get as much weight in my hands as I can here. And I'm relaxing my shoulders. I'm not activating them. Just trying to get a little bit of decompression in the spine, a stretch in the shoulders. Also that left hip as well. I'm going to slowly come up, and we're going to switch sides. So right foot goes back, same thing. Hands are up. Get a nice good hang in those hands. You can bring those sticks together, right? So kind of get the shoulder blades to outwardly rotate. Breathe. Excellent. Slowly come out. Now we're gonna switch sides again. This is where we add in the activation of the shoulder blades and rotations. So I'm gonna set up the same way. You can have your hands a little higher or a little lower if you'd like. I'm gonna sink down, get that hang, push the sticks into the ground about roughly 20% tension, and I'm gonna rotate the sticks to the right, and then I'm gonna rotate to the left. Now, as we do this, I want that left hip to stay forward, stay squared. I don't want this right knee to move either. That movement is coming from the spine. There you go, nice and smooth. Good. Excellent. Come back to center, up, and now we're gonna switch sides. Step that right foot back. Remember, adjust that back foot as much as you need to. You might have to wiggle it back, or you might have to bring it forward a little bit more. Get into that hang again. Drive the sticks down, rotate towards that front leg. Good, rotate to the right, left, right, left, breathe, right, left, and right. Back to center, come up, excellent, and ease off. Take a second here. We're gonna place one stick down, and now we're gonna get into the slap shot. We're gonna first start off with just getting those rotations with stick taps, and then we're gonna go into the full slap shot here. So since we are specifically working with upper body, we wanna try to get as much of the spine and the shoulders as loose as possible here. So I'm gonna go with a relatively wide stance. As always, the stance depends on your own level of mobility and whatever you're most comfortable with. You can always adjust your feet wider if you need to. So I'm gonna have my feet relatively wide, and I'm gonna have my toes pointed forward for now. I'm gonna have a slight bend to the knees, so soft knees. Drive those hips back. Okay, try to get as low as you can. You're gonna get a nice stretch in the hamstrings. You might get a little bit of a stretch in the adductors if you're super tight, which we're actually gonna be in a split squat for that row later. From this position here, I'm gonna rotate the right end of the stick down, tap it to my center line, and then I'm gonna bring it back, rotate the left end down. Good. Rotate the right end of the stick forward. Now left, right, left. Try to get further across. Right. Excellent. Left. Right. Left. One more time each way. Right. And left. Come back to center. Stand up, squeeze those glutes. Take a second. This is where we're now going to get into that full slap shot. So we're just kind of warming up the spine there. Go ahead and angle your feet out just a smidge. Stick is behind the mid-back still. Hands are out. Just go ahead and hinge back into that position. Now I'm going to rotate the right end down. I want you to try to get across your center line here since you already warmed up some of that rotation. I'm going to pull apart on the stick about 20% tension, and then I'm going to lunge to my right. Still pulling apart. And then I'm gonna lunge to the left. It's okay if that bottom arm bends, by the way. Lunge to the right. Really sink into that right hip. Lunge to the left. Breathe, lunge to the right. And left. Back to center. Come to neutral. Now other side. Left end down. Pull apart. Lunge to the right. Or sorry, left. Wrong direction. My fault, folks. Lunge to the right. Breathe. Left. right, left, still pulling apart on that stick here, and right. Back to center, come to neutral, stand up, squeeze those glutes, wiggle those feet in, nice and easy, excellent. Now we're gonna get into shoulder extension drill. So this is to, again, warm up the shoulders, but as we do this, we're gonna be internally rotated, and what we're trying to focus on is keeping control of that shoulder joint. What we don't want is a lot of anterior rotation here. We want to try to keep that shoulder down and packed as we move into that shoulder extension. So we really get into that lat, cramping here. All right, so I'm going to take the stick and I'm going to place it behind my back. My palms are facing away from my body, away from my posterior side, and my hands are right outside of my hips here. All right, you can go wider if you need to, if that's more comfortable, but you want to try to keep them just right outside of shoulder width here. Now, position-wise, you want to keep everything as stacked as you possibly can. So take a little bit of a wider stance, just so you're in a comfortable stance here. Keep those glutes nice and tight. And I want to keep my chin back a little bit, right? So we're going to get that posterior chain a little bit more active. Now, gripping the stick, first thing I'm going to do, I want to keep my arms straight. I'm going to drive my shoulder blades going down towards my back pocket. We're going to need this for the rows. Now from here, I'm going to pull the stick apart, only about 20% tension. Keep that tension there, and then I'm going to bring the stick away from my glutes. Keep your chin back. A lot of people tend to do this. Pull that chin back actively. Hold it, keep pulling that stick apart 20%. You should feel that upper back and those lats get nice and active here. 3, 2, 1, excellent. Pull back in and ease off. We're gonna go a few more here. So remember, keep that positioning. Arms are straight, shoulders down, chin back. Pull the stick apart 20%, bring that stick back. Try to get as much shoulder extension as you can. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Ease off. Take a second. Let's go a couple more here. Just make sure we get those shoulders real warm. Squeeze the glutes, chin back, shoulders down. Pull the stick apart. Pull the stick away from the glutes. You should notice it's a little easier to get the shoulder extension here the more repetitions that we do. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Ease off. Let's go one more time, folks. Then we're going to get into the rows, the fun stuff. Shoulders down. Pull the stick apart. Chin back. Squeeze the glutes. Try to get the stick back. Hold. Notice we're doing longer holds. We're not going as much tension. We're just trying to warm up those tissues. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Back in and ease off. Good. Now, this is where we get into the fun stuff. So this is where we're going to need a kettlebell. Now, the kettlebell that you use, or dumbbell, weight-wise, it's going to depend on how much of a challenge you want. If you want something that's actually pretty challenging, because we're going to do 2 sets of 8 for the rows, you can go with something a little heavier. If you kind of want to work on a technique or just try to get that movement down, you can obviously work with something that's a little bit lighter. I'm going to step back here because we're first going to prime the movement. So I am going to go with a little bit of a heavier kettlebell. So when I say prime the movement, we're going to get into that same exact position, and what we're going to do is we're really going to work on the movement, also packing and keeping control of that shoulder blade. When we did that shoulder extension drill, what I was talking about, that anterior rotation, right? If we do a row and we go here, we lose a connection to the lat, and we want to keep that connection. So I'm going to use the ramp here. It's going to act as if it's a corner of a wall. Sticks in my right hand, left hand is going to be, or left leg is going to be forward, And I want to create a nice big split because I'm going to be in a hinged position in a split. This is going to be my position I'm in as I do the row. So from this position here, I want to keep my right glute or back leg flexed, nice and tight. And I'm going to drive the stick back into the wall, pull that shoulder blade down towards my back hip, and then I'm going to pull the stick up. And I want to keep control of that shoulder blade. It's going to retract. I'm going to go back down, and we're going to go at 50% tension here. Keep driving that stick back, pull up towards your rib cage, down, that's 2, pull up, good, keep control, back down, 3, ease off. We're going to switch sides here. Then we're going to get into that first set, which is going to be lovely. So from here, right leg is forward, back leg is back. Remember, keep that back glute nice and tight. Drive the stick into the wall. Pull up, 50%. That's 1. Go back down. Pull up. Breathe. That's 2. Pull up. Back down, and that's 3. Excellent. Now this is where we grab, I'm going to place the stick down for now. This is where we're going to get the kettlebell. So I'm going to show what it looks like from the side. So I'm going to go with my right hand first. Remember, we're creating a pretty big split. I want to get in a position of good stability. So this is going to actually be a little bit of a challenge. And that's what we're going for here. Back leg or this glute stays nice and tight. I'm gonna have my left forearm or elbow on this lead leg here. This just adds a little bit of stability. Kettlebell is almost in line with the heel. What we're gonna do from here, make sure you get a good grip. Pull that shoulder blade going down towards your back hip and keep it there. We're just gonna start off, gonna pull up. That's 1. Touch it all the way to the floor if you can. Pull. 2. Pull. 3. Pull. 4. Pull. 5. Pull. 6. 2 more. Pull. 7. Last 1. Pull. 8. Excellent. We're going to switch sides. I'm actually going to turn forward for this one. Right elbow on that front leg. Back leg is extended. Squeeze that left glute. Shoulder blade packed going down towards that back hip. Pull. 1. Pull. 2. Pull. 3. Pull. 4. Pull. 5. Pull. 6. Pull. 7. Pull. 8. Excellent. Take a break. Take a second. We're going to go one more set of 8 here. We're going to grab the stick, prime it again. So, like I mentioned, if you want to make it more challenging, grab something that's actually a little heavier. We're still focusing on control, but also trying to make sure we're getting the proper tissues activated. So if you're feeling, let's say you're trapped, you need to really work on packing that shoulder blade a lot harder. So pulling that shoulder blade going down towards the hip. However, you want to make sure that your shoulder blade is still retracting as you're actually pulling the kettlebell up. So we're going to go a 50% tension again. Left leg is forward, right leg is back. Get a nice good split. Drive the stick back. Shoulder blade down towards the back hip. Pull up. Down, that's 1. Pull up. Down, it's 2. Up. Down, it's 3. Ease off. Let's switch sides. So drive the stick back, shoulder down towards that back hip. Up, 1, up, 2, up, 3, back down, and ease off. Take a second, place the stick down, shake your shoulders out a little bit. Now we're gonna go into this last set. So it's gonna be the last set of 8 here. So what we're gonna do this time, instead of leaning that elbow on that front leg, we're gonna take it off. So you now have to stabilize your spine against excessive rotation as we do this here. So now my left leg's gonna be forward, right leg's back, start with my right hand, and have that back foot pointed forward here. Shifting weight on that front leg. I'm gonna have my left hand down like so, right? We're in a hinge position. So pull that right shoulder blade down towards that back hip. Pull, 1, pull, 2, pull, 3, pull, 4, pull, 5, pull, 6, pull, 7, last one, pull, 8. Ease off, switch sides, we're gonna turn to the side here. Right leg's gonna be forward, left leg's gonna be back. Also, the zone or area that you're pulling to should be about rib cage level here, right? We don't want the kettlebell coming up towards the pec. We kind of want to pull that shoulder down, bring it towards the rib cage, or at least kind of like towards the bottom of your rib cage. Right leg forward, left leg back. Get that extension in the hip. Get set in position, pull that shoulder blade down towards the hip. Pull, 1, pull, 2, pull, 3, pull, 4, pull, 5, pull, 6, pull, 7, one more, pull, 8. Excellent. Ease off, take a second. Now we're gonna switch into that half kneeling shoulder press. I'm gonna grab a lighter kettlebell for this. So I'm gonna go with a 16. And we're gonna grab the pad. This is where we're gonna need the pad. And one stick. So for this particular drill, we're gonna be in a half kneeling position. And the knee that's down, that is a hand that we're actually gonna be actively using and pressing with. So I'm gonna go with my right knee down. Now granted, we just did some rows. Lats are gonna feel a little tight. So the reason why we're priming with this particular drill is to, for one, get the shoulder blade moving a little bit more, but also this kind of allows us to really open that lat up at least just a little bit for the overhead movement. Now my back foot, dorsally flexed on that ankle. So I want to make sure I'm driving that back foot down, keep good stability in the hips, all right? What we don't want is as we press to move forward. We want to keep in a really good position here, neutral, stacked. So I'm going to start with my right hand. The bottom of the stick is angled forward in front of me, so roughly about 6 to 8 inches in front of the line of my left foot, in line with my right hip here. Take your right hand, reach up to the end of the stick if you can. This might be a little bit of a challenging position to maintain. Want to keep control of that rib cage. From this position, fully gripping the stick, I'm going to lightly drive the stick down with both hands about 30%. And I'm going to pull my left hand in towards me. As I do that, I'm going to reflexively push my right shoulder blade up. So I'm going to get a little bit of that upward rotation. And I'm going to extend my left hand out, and I'm going to pull my shoulder blade down towards my back hip. Squeeze your right glute. Excellent. Pull that left hand in. Reflexively push up. Extend that left hand out. Reflexively pull that right shoulder blade down. Excellent, and ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So right leg is forward, left leg is back. We're gonna set up the same exact way. Left hand is gripping at the end of the stick here. Try to keep that left arm straight if you can. Go from here, drive that back foot down, squeeze that left glute, pull the right hand in, reflexively pushing that left shoulder blade up. Make sure you're driving the stick into the ground with both hands. Drive that right hand out. Pack that shoulder blade. Pull the right hand in. Breathe. Drive that right hand out. Excellent, and ease off. I'm gonna place the stick down because we are gonna come back to that. We are gonna do 2 sets of 8 here. So, left leg is forward here, right leg is back. Remember, we're keeping that ankle dorsiflex. You wanna drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute just to keep those hips locked into place. It is extremely important that we do that here. I'm gonna pick up the kettlebell, get it to a front rack position. We want the kettlebell resting kind of on the shoulder, bicep, and chest area. And I wanna keep my right hand under my chin. Also, with your wrist should be neutral. Not extended, not flexed over. Wanna keep that neutral. From here, squeeze the glutes, core engaged, press, up, this 1, good, let's go 8. Press, 2, press, rotating the hand forward, 3, press, 4, press, 5, press, 6, press, 7, last 1, press, 8. Excellent. Bring it back down with both hands. Switch sides. So this is actually somewhat of a progression. If you want to, we can start. If going from a half kneeling position, it's too hard to control the hips and the ribs, you can go to a standing position. So we're gonna pick up the kettlebell, get it into that front rack position. Make sure you're driving that back leg down. Left glute is nice and tight. Remember, wrist neutral. Press. 1. Press. 2. Press. 3. Press. 4. Press. 5. Press. 6. Press. 7. One more time. Press. 8. Excellent. Bring it down. Take a break for a second. We're going to go back to that same activation drill. So another thing that you can do with this, or at least with the half kneeling shoulder press, is that you can actually add the stick into the hand that's not pressing, drive it down. So that gives us more of that anterior stability and also helps with that rib cage alignment. Left foot is back forward, right leg's down. Set up that same way. Right hand at the end of the stick. We're gonna do 2 repetitions of each here. Drive that stick down with both hands. Pull the left hand in. Drive out. Remember to pack that shoulder blade as you drive your left hand out. Pull in. Excellent. Drive out. Ease off. Let's go to switch sides. Remember, we're not going super hard for this. Really just trying to keep that movement in the shoulder blade. Make sure the lats are actually a little bit more stretched out here so it doesn't inhibit that overhead movement as much. So left hand is up. Drive the stick down. Pull the right hand in. Drive out. We're going to pack that shoulder blade. Pull in. Excellent. Push out. And ease off. Wonderful. So we're going to switch back to the right side first. So use both hands to get that kettlebell into that front rack position. And you know what? I'll actually show this from the side so you can also see what my hips and back are doing as I go to press. So get that grip on the right hand. That sits it up into that front rack position here. Remember, drive that back foot down, squeeze that right glute. Press. 1. Press. 2. Press. 3. Press. 4. Press. 5. Press. 6. Press. 7. Last one. Press. 8. Excellent. We're going to switch sides. Left knee down, right foot forward. Get to that front rack position. Drive that back foot down. Keep that left glute nice and tight. Press. 1. Press. 2. Press. 3. Press. 4. Press. 5. Press. 6. Press. 7. Last one. Press. 8. Excellent. That was the strength training phase. Now we're going to get into the cool down and the deep fascial stretching. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with an open book rotation. So this is where we'll need the wall or something to push the sticks into. We're going to need both sticks for this one. So to move the pad to the side, move the kettlebell out of the way. I'm going to grab my second stick here. We're going to go to the floor. So you can start on either side, left or right. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to start on my laying on my left side. So I'm going to lay on my left hip here. Now, left foot is going to be on top of this stick here. Right leg is going to be under. And we want to make sure that we keep the right hip effectively in line or at hip level here. If it's lower, we have a little bit more of a chance of that low back getting involved. So we want to have that knee at about hip height. I'm going to have the right stick placed behind me here. Now with this left hand, I'm going to scoot up a little bit. Left hand, I'm going to pull and leverage my right leg towards the floor. So I'm pulling my left hand going down towards the floor. Right hand is up, driving about 20% into the wall. And I'm going to open up and rotate to my right. Now the objective as we do this is to get the right shoulder to the ground, not the hand, but the shoulder. Breathe, come back up, open up and rotate. Keep driving that stick down. Try to get as much rotation as we can. Come up. Open up and rotate again. Make sure you're breathing. Excellent. Come back up. Let's go one more time and then we're going to switch sides. Make sure you're pulling that left hand down towards the floor, trapping that right leg. Excellent. Come back up and ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. So turn on my right side. Remember, right foot is on the top of the stick, left leg is under. Sticks are basically in the same position. You don't need to move them or adjust them. Pull that right hand down towards the floor. Drive that left stick into the wall. Open up and rotate. Breathe. Come back up. Open up and rotate. Excellent. Back up. Open up and rotate. Breathe. Remember, we're trying to get that left shoulder to the floor. Back up. Let's go one more time, folks. Breathe. Excellent. Come back up. And ease off. Right, so we're now going to come up to a half kneeling position. We're going to need a pad and one stick here. So we're going to go into stretching out the lat. So since we did rows, we worked on the lat, worked on some overhead positioning. Now we're going to stretch out some of those same exact tissues here. We're going to go with the left knee down first. So that left hand is going to be high on the stick. We're going to have the right hand on the stick just for added support. Also make sure we don't fall over. So left knee is down, right leg is forward. I'm going to have my left hand up over my head, nice and high. Notice that the stick is angled out relatively far from my hip. I want to make sure I have a good angle. If I have it too close in, I can't actually get into that lat stretch or that hang. So I'm going to angle it out. This stick's in line with my hips here. Left hand is up nice and high. I'm going to place my right hand on the stick. And I want to try to keep my hips facing forward as much as I can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my hips going down towards the bottom of the stick here. So I'm going to shift and get a hang. Again, our right hand is on for support just to make sure we don't slip. However, we're going to get a stretch in that lat or that lateral line, especially going down towards the hip as well. Breathe. Come back up. Nice and slow. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. We're going to right knee down. 6 on the right side. Right hand is up. Left hand is on for added support. Drop that right hip down towards the bottom of the stick. But notice I'm actually leaning pretty much all my body weight into my hands here. Breathe. Slowly come out. Excellent. Let's switch sides again. Let's do each side one more time. And actually, I'm going to turn to the side here, just so you can kind of see what it looks like from the side. Left hand is up. Right hand's on the stick. Drop that left hip going down towards the bottom. All right, get a nice big stretch. And that lateral line here, folks. Breathe. Come back up. We're going to switch sides. Left hand on the stick. Drop that right hip down towards the bottom. Excellent. Slowly come out. Good. Now we're going to go to a standing position. We're still going to need the pad for the very last row, so I'm going to kick this back because that last row we are going to be in a full kneeling position here. So we're going to get into a bow and arrow. I want both feet to be pointed forward at hip, but roughly hip width here. You can go a little bit wider if you need to, but we're going to go roughly about hip width. Bottom of the stick, that distance varies, right, depending on you. I'm going to go with the stick about roughly 6 inches outside of the line of my foot, lined up with midfoot here. Left hand is about roughly waist height. Right hand is going to come up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Now as we do this, remember, hips go away from the stick. That's the very first part of the stretch. So I'm gonna drive my hips away. That's the first initial part. And I'm not driving the stick into the ground, but I'm gonna extend my hands out. Excellent. Now we're gonna add a little something extra. I'm gonna pull up with my top hand, about 20%. Gonna feel a little bit more activation on the stretch. Ease off, nice and slow. Excellent. Rotate that stick. Let's go again. Drive the hips away. Extend those hands out. Pull up with the top hand. Excellent. Ease off. We're going to switch sides here. So toes are pointed forward. Sticks on that right side. Left hand comes up over the top. Thumb facing down. Drive the hips away first. Extend those hands out. Pull up with that left hand. Remember, it's only 20% tension. We're not going a lot of tension. We're just adding a little bit of activation here. Back in, nice and slow. Excellent. Rotate that stick a bit. Let's go one more time. Drive the hips away. Extend those hands out. Pull up with that top hand. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. And ease off. We got one last drill here, folks. One last drill. This is where we're actually going to use the corner of a wall, and we're going to be in a half kneeling position. We're going to get into a T-spine stretch, more so opening up the thoracic spine. We're going to get a lot of extension here. We've done this drill before, but I'll kind of walk you through it. So I'm going to get into a tall kneeling position. Sorry, unfortunately, I'm going to have my back turned here. I'm going to get into a tall kneeling position, and I'm going to have the bottom of the sticks angled in towards the wall here. Now, the objective is to have my hands up as high as I can on the sticks, and you can have your ankles extended or plantar flexed, just so you're on the top of your feet. From this position, keeping my hands where they're at, I'm going to shift my torso forward towards the bottom of the sticks, and from here, keeping that forward intent, I'm going to sink my hips down and sit my hips down on my calves as much as I can. This is going to be an extended position. I'm going to come up. Good. Let's go into it again. So you're going to feel that stretch in the T-spine. So sink back. Breathe. Back up. Excellent. Let's go 2 more. Sink those hips back. Up. Last one. Sink those hips back. Up. And ease off. Excellent. And that concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on your Saturday. Hope everybody had a good class. It actually feels really, really good to be back in the facility doing this. But be sure to catch our other YouTube videos, and I will see y'all next Saturday. Have a good one and stay safe.